America is indeed a lawful country, which is exactly why you're fired and no more icicle money for you. Traveled to the States on a business trip last year. It was a long haul, a total of 20 hours including layover at Tokyo. Quite tired by the time I got off the plane. The driver that was supposed to pick me up as part of the hotel package went on a clockwork countdown, sending me messages about your plane landed. If you don't come out in 1 hour I'm entitled to leave, and bombarded me with texts and phone calls. I'm not allowed to answer calls at immigration, so I didn't pick up. But I didn't reply him with a text message. After picking me up, he went on a rant about he had to wait for my flight to arrive for 2 hours. By the way, my flight was on time. The parking lot is an effing daylight robbery. I'm wrong for not getting out earlier. I was late, and this entire trip will not even give him enough money to buy an icicle. He even had the guts to lecture me, a new immigrant like yourself should always play by the local rules. This ain't your country anymore, we do things differently here. This went on for the entire trip. I was hungry, I was tired, I was annoyed. I tried to stop the conversation by giving no reply, but he'll force me a reply by directly addressing me. To say I was pissed is an understatement. First thing I did when I left the city 2 days later was giving him a 3 out 10 review on the website. 3-star for actually completing the trip. Didn't give him a bad review on that same day, because I figured he's a bit psychotic and I don't want him to show up at my hotel lobby with an assault rifle or something. Next day, I got a call from an unknown number. First thing he said after I picked up, which if we translated into English, would be, "I F your mother. Who's this?" I was puzzled, also clueless, forgot about the whole incident already. "Who's this? I'll tell you who this is, you little F. I F your mother, you effing." I hung up, still quite clueless who that was. About an hour later, I got a long text which translates to, "Due to your dishonesty and defaming speech, I have hired a lawyer to sue you, which will include late fees I was supposed to charge you on that day. You take care of yourself. America is a country of trust and honesty, not a place where a man without ethics like you can do whatever you please." Okay, so it really was him after all. After a bit of digging, I replied, "I don't know who you are, I don't know what your problems are. But if you're raising concerns about past services you provided me, then please be minded that the Consumer Fairness Act of 2016 under FTC protects my rights for a negative review. America is indeed a lawful country, something which I can attest to when I first arrived back in 2009. Also, please cease all verbal, written and indirect communication with me. Your action is now a form of harassment." Then I took a screenshot of his text and sent it to the website. Several days later, they apologized and told me he's not their direct employee but was hired by a local cab company. Nevertheless, they had him fired already. I was still kind of pissed till this day, not because what he did, but because of the website's negligence which allowed something like this to happen. Customer reviews were supposed to be anonymous and the drivers shouldn't have my personal information after the closing of contract. My guess is that I was a bit specific on that review and his boss figured out who I was talking about and got pissed at him, doing so unknowingly leaked who wrote review in the process, or he did it on purpose without thinking much about the consequences, but still, it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Which is why I also stopped using the website's cab service. Entitled Redneck gets his truck blocked in. I work at a hotel right across the street from a college football stadium. When there's events, such as the game today, we issue parking passes to our guests so that they can have a spot in our lot. Earlier today, a pickup truck full of rednecks came speeding into our parking lot. Our attendant for today asked them if they were a guest here and what their last name was. They were hostile with our guy and refused to say what their names were. Better yet, they didn't park in an actual parking spot but right by our dumpsters. We currently have the hotel van parked right behind them and my boss's car in front. They can't leave until they come in and ask us to move. If it were up to me, I wouldn't move our van until we absolutely had to. Now we're just waiting for them to come in. Edit. The guy played ignorant and said that he didn't know about guest parking only. Right, because the sign and our parking lot guy that they harassed were overlooked. Thanks for watching and don't forget to give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Have a good one.